Hey guys, welcome back to another sports stuff video. Today we'll be talking about the New York Giants and their offseason plan. If you guys do enjoy, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell to be notified when I post next. Let's get into it. Let me get over to my little itty bitty thing. There we go. New York Giants offseason plan. Re-signings, as always, we start with the re-signings. I'm going to start with Xavier McKinney, their starting safety. He had 94 tackles, 3 interceptions, 26 stops, and an 88 PFF grade. He's been great for the defense the last 2 or 3 years. He's really come onto the scene as of late. As you did see my Patriots deal, I gave him the exact same deal. I think he's worth that cap number. A lot of times you got to overpay a player to make them leave their current team. I think Xavier McKinney's worth this amount of money. So it's a 5-year, $100 million contract, $59 million guaranteed. That's 60% guaranteed. It's actually 5 for 99, not 5 for 100, but 5 for 100. $59 million guaranteed. That is a 60% guaranteed contract. I think it's worth it. I mean, you let Julian Love walk. I think you let Julian Love walk to have Xavier McKinney. Love then went on to the Seattle Seahawks and had a great year. I think, you're saying, you know what? Let's not let another great secondary member leave. Let's pay Xavier McKinney. We have the money. He proved to be one of the best safeties in the league. Let's just pay him his darn money. Next, we have Saquon Barkley. I am going to be tagging Saquon Barkley. He had 962 yards, 6 touchdowns, 280 receiving yards, and 4 touchdowns. So 10 touchdowns total, over 1,000 yards scrimmage. He's looking for a long-term deal. I am going to be tagging him because I think he's going to be a tagging trade option. He's the only consistent part of the offense, in my opinion. I think that with no matter what quarterback he had, he always produced. And as you can see, I think he is going to be part of a mega deal that I have kind of been cooking up throughout the offseason. And I think that Saquon Barkley is going to be a big piece in that mega deal. So, I do have a tagging trade for Saquon Barkley, so it does impact the cap. Then, the last re-sign I'm going to be doing is Isaiah Simmons. You trade for him from Arizona Cardinals. He had a pretty good year. 30 tackles, an interception, 16 stops. Had a solid bounce back year from the Arizona Cardinals to the New York Giants. I think that Wink Martindale did a pretty good job with him. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Wink Martindale actually left in the offseason. So maybe a defensive coordinator can unlock even more of him. But he's solid and young. You did trade assets for him. So that is, an incentive to keep him that you want him. Solid and young still. Another year in the system could prove wise. Obviously, it's going to be a brand new system again. So maybe this new defensive coordinator can use him even better. I gave him a 1-year, $7.5 million contract, fully guaranteed, to say, you know what, we're not going to tag you and make, pay you $18, $19 million a year because linebackers get paid like crazy right now. We're giving you a 1-year prove-it deal, and if you do really well, we'll give you an extension. And I think that's something that Isaiah Simmons would be interested in. Then for one restructure I'm going to do a Dexter Lawrence restructure for $11.5 million. That basically pays for Saquon's tag and Isaiah Simmons' extension. That basically pays it immediately. So you're really only paying Xavier McKinney. Cuts and trades. I think the first one I'm going to be doing is for Daniel Jones. Before tearing his ACL, he had 900 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. Was having a really rough year. Rough down year after last year. He had a pretty good year. He needs a fresh start outside of New York. I think this front office paid him because they needed a quarterback and they didn't want to let him go after that great year. But I think it's already proven, you know what? He's not the guy. He's coming off a torn ACL, so when trading him, you're not going to get a lot out of him. You can save $36 million with a post-June 1st trade, or you can save $36 million next season with a post-June 1st cut. So if you want to cut him, you can cut him after June 1st as a post-June 1st designation, and you get no cap relief in 2024. But in 2025, you save $36 million, or you can trade him post-June 1st and save $36 million this year and next year. And I think you can get something in return for him. I think there's a lot of teams that would like a Daniel Jones type of quarterback that maybe they think they can fix him. And I think a team like that would be the Minnesota Vikings. If they can't get Kirk Cousins back, if they want to trade for Daniel Jones, I think you can get him for pretty dirt cheap. The New York Giants would receive a 2024 4th and a 2025 6th, and the Minnesota Vikings receive Daniel Jones. So they trade him for day 3 picks, basically. The Minnesota Vikings, a 4th round and a 6th round pick. Maybe with Kwesi Odafe-Brown, that could be with Kwesi, I'm pretty sure it's Kwesi Odafe-Brown. I'm pretty sure that he could do pretty well in the late rounds of the draft. He's proven the last 2 drafts he's been drafting really well. But in my opinion, I'm moving off of those late round picks for we know what he is. Let's try and get the most out of him. And now we have a starting quarterback next season who isn't Jaren Hall or Josh Dobbs. he is a top 32 quarterback in the league, maybe more in the late teens, early 20s, but he's still a starter in the league. I think the Vikings don't have a starter in the league as a quarterback. Then Saquon Barkley, as I said, he's going to be involved in a tag and trade. I think they're trading him to the Chicago Bears, right? I think in the draft, they're going to want to trade up after drafting. In my opinion, I think they're going to draft a quarterback at number 6. And after the number 6 pick, I think they could trade back up to number 9 and grab a wide receiver, grab a tight end, grab an offensive lineman. So what I did was to trade up to the Chicago Bears at number 9 overall. They're willing to trade down, obviously, because, whether it's Justin Fields or Caleb Williams, I think they would like more draft picks to help out that quarterback. So New York Giants received number 9 overall. Chicago receives Saquon, a 2024 second, a 2025 first, and a 2024 fifth. Now, the reason I have only one first round pick to trade up, out of the first round and in the first round is Saquon, right? I think Saquon is worth a first round pick right now. Maybe a second round pick, but I think he's worth a first round pick. He's proven every time he's healthy that he's one of the best running backs in the NFL, and the Bears can really use another dynamic runner and a dynamic playmaker for this offense. So they trade first Saquon, a second round pick next year, a first round pick next year, and a fifth round pick this year. Yes, the Bears do trade out of the first round at number 9 overall, their actual pick. But again, you get more draft capital for next year. You get Saquon Barkley on a tag that maybe you can work out a long-term extension, but at least for a 1-year deal, you get Saquon Barkley, which I would imagine immediately gets extended. A second round pick next year and a fifth round pick. I think that's a pretty good return for number 9 overall. And the last cut I'm going to be making is Mark Lewinsky. He had a 65 PFF grade, 53 pass blocking, 70 run blocking. He can't even start in the league's worst O-line. This dude is not starting for the New York Giants. You got to cut him then. He allowed 6 sacks in his limited snaps that he played. You can save $6 million cutting him for $1 million for every sack that he allowed. He's going to land somewhere as a depth piece, maybe back with the Indianapolis Colts, but I just don't see a chance of him staying in New York past, the offseason. In free agency, the very first move I'm going to be doing is Dalton Risner. Why is there a pick of Mark Lewinsky in replacement of Dalton Risner? I have no idea. Dalton Risner had 57 PFF grades, 67 pass blocking, 50 run blocking, 3 penalties, and 0 sacks allowed. He started at left guard for the Vikings, so pretty solid. He's one of the better guards in free agency, and he can slide in at starter right away. If I'm not mistaken, I think Dalton Risner actually joined onto the team around week 2 or week 3. Like, he did not do a training camp, did not do OTAs, did not do the beginning of the season. He joined on in the middle of the season, and he played pretty well for that. So I gave him a 2-year, $22.5 million contract, $15.5 million guaranteed, equaling 68% guaranteed. That's about number 10 when it comes to paying to the guards contracts. Right in the middle of the really good starting guards. Not elite, it's a good starter. $10.5 million and $12 million. I think it's a pretty good contract for Dalton Risner and for the New York Giants. Then we have Grover Stewart coming over from the Indianapolis Colts. I think he's really good, right? In my opinion, he's really good. Had a down year. 28 tackles, 1 sack, 24 stops. Injuries hampered him this year. The games that he did start, he was okay, but definitely, even when he was healthy, he was having a down year. He played 11 games. He's developed great in Indianapolis. Was drafted by Indianapolis. Has developed really good there next to DeForest Buckner. But I just don't know if they're going to pay him another long-term extension. I think he needs to go cash in somewhere else. Gave him a 3-year, $54.5 million contract. $31 million guaranteed. A 56% guaranteed contract. This would immediately help them next to Dexter Lawrence. I think him and Dexter Lawrence could be an amazing D-tackle pairing. And I would absolutely love to see them paired up in New York. Then, in replacement of Saquon Barkley, instead of drafting a guy and maybe having him develop, I'm going after Tony Pollard. He had 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns. He had a down year as a starter. Maybe he would be better as a rotation back, not as a bell cow. I would then draft a running back to be more of a bell cow. And now you can rely on Tony Pollard in week 1 and most of the season more than likely. But develop a bell cow running back behind him. Maybe a Trey Benson. Maybe a Donovan Edwards next to Tony Pollard. But I think he might be better as a rotation back than a starter. A rotation guy than a bell cow running back. So he will still start for the team, but he's not going to be an every down type of guy. I gave him a 2-year, $21.5 million contract, $14.25 guaranteed, 66% of it guaranteed, and he's still from a division rival. That's something you always like to do when you're an NFL team. Then for the drafts, So in the draft, obviously I grabbed Jaden Daniels at number 6, as I think every single mock draft that has him going, if not higher than number 6. I think this is the farthest Jaden Daniels falls. I do think that if they can get Jaden Daniels in this offense, he has the same mold as a Josh Allen that Brian Daboll obviously helped develop. I think Jaden Daniels has the big arm, has the scramble ability, has the IQ to play quarterback. Just needs someone to really refine that ability. Then you trade up to number 9 and grab his LSU teammate in Malik Nabers, just like the Cincinnati Bengals did with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. I think you do the exact same thing in New York. You grab Malik Nabers, you grab Jaden Daniels, pair them back up in the NFL, and watch the offense blossom. Then at number 39, I'm grabbing Byron Murphy the second from Texas. I think it's one of the best pairings as well. You grab Grovert Stewart, you grab Dexter Lawrence, who you've developed over the last couple of years. Then Byron Murphy to be that run stuffing, pass rushing D tackle, all around player to pair next to them as well. Then as well in the second round, grab Jonathan Brooks from Texas. I think he's one of the best running backs in the class. Can be your bell cow running back next to Tony Pollard. They run differently, they play differently. They can be really nice complementary backs next to each other. Then at pick number 70, I grabbed Jeremiah Trotter Jr. With Bobby Okereke, he's been a really solid starter for you the last year. Pair him up with Jeremiah Trotter, who's a really good coverage linebacker, good at blitzing, can develop as a run defender, but I think he's a really good coverage guy. Cade Stover in the 4th. A tight end next to Darren Waller. I can't remember the tight end they drafted either last year or 2 years ago. I can't remember his name right now. But get a pretty solid young tight end group behind Darren Waller, who in situations can play over Darren Waller. I think it's a good idea to help develop that position. Xavier Thomas from Clemson, really good sack pressure rate. I think in the 5th round, could be a pretty solid rotation guy. Then Sebastian Castro, same thing. Really good production at Iowa. Solid 6th round pick. I think that'd be a really good depth guy for them. Gives me a B+. I think it's pretty solid. If the Giants can do this, man, get your franchise quarterback, get your franchise wide receiver 1, get a really good D tackle, a really good running back, solid linebacker, solid tight end number 2 or 3, and depth at those key positions. I think their defense can take a step. Their offense can take a step. In addition to the Grover Stewart signing, the Dalton Reisner, the Tony Pollard, help this offense, inject this offense with help. Yes, you got to move on from Saquon, but I think Saquon's already out the door. I might as well tag him and try and get something for him. But if you guys enjoy, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. Hit the notification bell to be notified when I post next. I'll see you guys later. Peace and bye.